Hello guys, good morning and welcome back to our video tutorial. Um, the last time what we were talking about is classes of IP address and how do we understand them, or how do we identify classes of IP addresses, private and public ranges. We talked about class A, B, C, and we we discussed in depth about them, and I gave you guys some classwork or some assignment, and some of you guys did not submit, but those that submitted their assignment were very good. So in our today's video we are going to introduce ourselves to Classful subnetting. And what subnetting is about is that we want to segment our network address. We want to cut our network address into smaller pieces, because if you could remember, when we were doing this 2 to the power of network bits, it was giving us a value. So we are saying that if, for instance, if it is a class A, we have 8 bits that are part of the network, and we say 2 to the power of those 8 bits is 256 networks. So how do we identify those 256 networks? And we said each of those 256 networks in a class A will provide 16,777,216 IP addresses, which 214 are valid. Okay, so you are going to now subnet. So we're going to start with a class that has lower, or the lowest number of usable addresses. That would most likely be class C, and then we will deal with class C, then we come down to class B and class A, because class C is easier to manage, and the address space is smaller than compared to others. So from there, you know what subnetting is. We want to divide a network, or we want to subnet out, and we want to subdivide our network into small networks, so we can identify which network belong to where, and so on and so forth. So we discuss classful. So subnetting can be done in these 3 ways. Okay, you can subnet using a classful format. That's what I'm going to do right now. You can also subnet with full length subnet mask. Okay, you can go with this full length, or you can call it fixed length. Okay, FLSM, you can call it fixed length. That is it. Subnet, full length subnet mask. Okay, and the other one here is variable length subnet mask. Alright, so basically those are the two subnetting scenarios that we can be using. Starting from classful subnetting, we're gonna start subnetting based on the class of IP address, meaning we are going to maintain the same CIDR, the same classful CIDR all throughout. The CIDR, that is the class that represent the class, doesn't change. For instance, class A, we have CIDR 8. Class B, we have CIDR 16, just like that, like this. B, sorry about that. Class B and class C. So with class A, we have CIDR 8, that is prefix 8. Class B, like for instance, we have prefix 16. And class C, we have prefix 24. So that is what I mean by CIDR. That is a prefix length. You can call it CIDR, class license domain routing. If, for instance, you're not basing this on the normal class of normal class number. Okay, so this is class C. So I am going to be subnetting only using 24, meaning this 24 is never going to change in my subnetting. But in a situation that, for instance, I want to do some subnettings, and my CIDR would be 25. For instance, all throughout, my subnetting is going to be 25, but this 25 is not class. So this CIDR is out of the class, because it is not class C, because class C's default CIDR is 24. So you go beyond 24, it means that you are now out. But still, the address would show you that you are on IP version 4 class C, but the CIDR is telling you that it does not belong to any class. Okay, so in that case, that is fixed length, but you're going to use the same throughout your subnetting. Okay, so I'll show you guys this one in our tomorrow's video. And then next one is the VLSM. The VLSM is, for instance, I have let's go back to full length subnet mask. let's say for instance full length subnet max. We have a company and we have 5 departments. Okay, for instance 5 departments in our company. Sorry, that was supposed to be what? 5 departments, and each of those departments we need about 100 users or 100 PCs. Okay, so with this 5 departments and they all have equal amount of users, so that is what you're gonna have to use the same prefix length to provide room for all of them, because they are equal. But for instance you have 5 departments. All right, you have 5 departments, but they are different. One of the departments, okay, let's say for instance department 1, you have let's say 100 users. Okay, sorry about that. Department 2, let's say for instance you have 56 or 57 users, something like that. Department 3, let's say for instance we have 78. Okay, it goes like that. Department 4, for instance, we have 120. Department 5, let's say for instance with department 5 you only have 2 hosts, so you only have 2 computers. So with this you do not have equal amount. You can see you have 100, 57, 78, 122. So you cannot do the same subnetting for what you have for 100 users, and you cannot use the same for 50 users, because you're gonna have a lot of addresses that are going to be wasted. So in that case, we'll come to that. We will talk about VLSM. So I just want you guys to understand the difference between this. With Classful, it means you are dealing with their normal class siders. That is side prefix 8, 16, and 24. FLSM, it means you're dealing with a particular, let's say for instance, with a particular class, but the cider has changed to accommodate room. Because if for instance you have class C address,